determines the third starting in the Middle East. This is on record. Now, I'm not saying I was against the South in the Civil War. That was a different thing entirely. British intelligence came in and manipulated the South into the war. This is on record. And manipulated the North into the war. Then they put British troops in Canada, in Toronto, and threatened to invade. So it's not this side's good, that side's good, or this side's good, that side's bad. It's all sides. You need to analyze things and not think of it as black and white when you're looking at how the globalists are manipulating groups. But I don't want to get off into these discussions. It's just that Robert Byrd did vote for the Patriot Act and a lot of other bad stuff. He voted for some good stuff. And I think as he got older, you know, he got better. But you know, he presided for 60 years over the Senate while America went to hell in a handbasket. And so I did get a threatening phone call saying, you better not come to West Virginia, talking about our beloved Byrd man. But I don't like speaking ill of the dead. So I'm done talking about it, but I don't censor your calls. You know, the caller, who are we talking to? That's right, Scott in Washington. Scott, finish your point. You were talking about a Newsmax article about the Birdman.
Well, one of the questions that was asked to him about his activities in the Klan Day, and one of them that was asked of whether or not he participated in any lynchings back then, and that was the only question that was answered. The rest of them, the press secretary said that they never discussed it, but this particular one was asked, and apparently Byrd told this press aide to tell the protesters is that he didn't recall whether or not he had actually participated in any lynchings. Now, it seems to me that if you didn't do any of the things that you were accused of, you would come right out and say, no, I didn't. And it was well known, that in between the late 1880s and up until the mid-1960s, that there were over 4,000 lynchings, mostly black.
Now, wait a minute. Are you saying that a grand Cyclopsian supreme dragon in one of the most oppressive states at the time, covered with Klan, where there were lynchings all over, might have been involved? That's ridiculous. That's like saying water might be wet. Don't talk bad about the Cyclops, the Cyclopsian ruler.
Well, that's what was quoted in there, that he doesn't recall. That's the vague language that was used. So, you know, that's when I say, and I don't know for certain whether it's true, but that's why I say possible. So, you know, I don't like talking ill of the dead either, and I don't really like getting off into this stuff. But, you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's no great loss, and, you know, I hope he's burning in hell. But that's my take on it.
So you're not crying yourself to sleep at night right now over a Byrd?
Hell no.
Okay, I appreciate your call, Scott. Let me just say this. Look, the Russians have infiltrated the United States. Of course, they're trying to infiltrate computer companies and brokerage houses in Harvard, because that's the corporate group that has hijacked our country. They're allowed to steal trillions of dollars in plain view and get in no trouble. Almost every person in the Obama administration is from Harvard. It's a sickening little crew of crooks. And I'm not saying you're bad if you have a Harvard degree. It is a great university. It's that in the political science area and the law school, it's a bunch of crooks. I mean, it's on record. I've had top PhDs from Harvard on who were taught how to overthrow America. It's a corporate takeover. You go, what's that have to do with Byrd? It's the same thing. Look, the Klan is almost non-existent in this country. Back when they had Birth of a Nation, you know, the machete of its time, it was the popular La Raza for white people, and it was popular, and the corporate media promoted it because there were millions and millions of members. But now it's a diversion and a distraction. And Byrd, as corrupt as he was in opposition to a lot of what was going on, because things are so much more corrupt now, they've surpassed anything he ever did. So it's kind of like, am I worried about 11 Russian sex operatives or whatever? Compared to global banks that have engaged in espionage, it's called globalism, who have bought off treacherous, treasonous Americans who've taken over our government and are robbing us and raising taxes to pay to themselves. That's what I'm focused on.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
The question is, where should the American people draw their line in the sand?
What have we got? A republic or a monarchy?
A republic is based on a constitution which protects minority rights.
Not democracy, not mob rule, two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. So they think they own our land, they think they own our water, children, our education, our money.
We have to define who we are and what we will tolerate.
Somebody's going to ask you what you did during the Patriot Uprising.
You have been warned.
We have the facts. We have the Constitution. We have the Bill of Rights. We have common law. Knowledge is power, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm so excited to be able to offer you Don't Tread on Me, Rise of the Republic. Tyranny is upon us, but liberty and the sleeping giant that is the American people is rising. A new tool in the info war. Don't Tread on Me. Order it at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139 and support independent, patriotic Liberty films. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365. Hello, this is Alex Jones with some important questions. If you're going into a battle and they give you a rifle and a sidearm, how much ammunition do you want? My answer would be all I can get. In the battle for freedom and the lives of your loved ones, food is your only ammunition. How much do you want? When do you want it? Now or after the battle starts? When will you need it? Can you buy it without proper identification? Will there be any food? Will it make your children sick? If there's a quarantine and you can't feed yourself, will you go to the gathering center and be immunized? You wipe out all these problems if you have a good food supply. Food is your ammunition to fight for your freedom and your life. How much will you need? We don't know. How much do you want? All you can get. I'm Alex Jones. I want all of you good guys to live to fight another day. Call 1-800-409-5633 or check it out on the web at efoodsdirect.com. Again, that number, 1-800-409-5633.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
The heat is on the street. Inside your head.
I don't like Al Gore. He's always looked like a big fat rapist to me. Looks like a giant pervert, but I don't go off my instincts, though they're always right. I've got to trust but verify. And I've listened to the woman's testimony. We played parts of it. It's up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com since last weekend. And it's her audio police report. It's actually hours long. We put up a version that kind of boils it down to 23 minutes. But Al Gore came in. He was staying in a fancy hotel. He showed her condoms and said, I'm going to use these. He began grabbing her hands and putting them on his genitals. She said she wasn't that type of masseuse, that she wasn't a prostitute, and that he seemed to be confused about what he'd ordered. And she explained it all to him. And then, of course, he started trying to get her stuff and leave, and he was running up behind her in the bathrobe, hunching on her without underwear on. And doing classic politician stuff of like, I'm not advancing on you when you don't want me to. That's preposterous, as he was hunching on her. So, I mean, that's classic. This is not an assault like at Waco as they're ramming the building, pumping gas in. Or we're not setting up a world government. Next on CNN, world government. The only hope, we'll pay our taxes to them. I'm not having unwanted sexual advances as he was chasing her around with an erection protruding from his bathrobe, according to her. And it sounds very credible. And it's very credible that she didn't go file the report for a few months because she was so freaked out. I mean, I had a juvenile justice guard try to rape me in a shower, and I threatened him off of me, but I didn't talk about that for years. I'd probably been on talk radio for a decade before I'd talk about it because it just sounds embarrassing. But now I can care less. I just talk about everything. But, I mean, you know, imagine a woman. Al Gore, who just won the Peace Prize, he's like God. ABC News, Portland police reopen Al Gore sex abuse case, and she says she's got the blue-stained dress.